Welcome to this video on spinal cord repair possibility. I'm making this video as an introduction to an invention that I've been working on for the last 20 years. It's basically a glass surgical scalpel. Now that's nothing new. Glass scalpels have been around for a long time. The only thing different is this scalpel is made from a special type of glass. And it consists of several forms. I'm showing two forms here today. The first one is represented by this plastic takeaway knife that you see quite often, and that's just that'll be just a standard scalpel knife design, but I won't go too much into that. The other one is this unique scalpel, which I'll show a close-up later, but it consists of a very fine piece of special glass which you cannot see, smaller than a human hair, and that is used to cut the spinal cord and repair it. If we look at most spinal cord injury, the three types of spinal cord injury, mostly if we look at a normal spine, and we can represent the spinal cord, basically just an analogy, as a simple straw that conducts neurotransmitters up and down to various parts of the body, just like a straw. There is mainly several forms of damage, but the most damage is this partial damage, which is probably 90% of most spinal cord injuries, where the spinal cord is not totally cut or broken, but partly bruised and a section of scar tissue forms, blocking signals. Very rare is the actual spinal cord is cut. That's probably the other 5%, which makes up the rest of the damage to spinal cords. I'll just zoom in here, just break away from the camera. Alright, we've zoomed in here a bit better. When a patient has had a spinal cord injury and a few months after they've settled in and they've realised the situation they're in, they are told the spinal cord, in this case here, 90% is partially blocked, or 90% or 100% blocked. And the patient will always ask this question: why can't the section of spinal cord that is damaged be cut out and removed and rejoined? So in other words, if you were just to simply take a pair of scissors, cut this section out, remove it, rejoin the spinal cord, why doesn't that work? A fair enough question. Why doesn't it regrow? Why doesn't it repair itself? Well, that is a very complicated question, and it probably will take me 30 videos to explain why. But in the interim, let's just go back to a basic, what the doctor will probably tell them is that if that's attempted, the spinal cord will go through a phase and you'll end up basically back to where you started, where the spinal cord will be so full of scar tissue, it'll be back to where it was before. So that's roughly the basic analysis of what a patient will receive through a spinal cord injury. Right, I'll just talk a little bit how the invention happened. It was 20 years ago. I was working and I cut myself as usual with one of these blade cutters. I think everyone's done that. And I cut myself, as a left hand or right hand, I don't remember. It was quite a deep cut. It was on a finger, and I lost a fair bit of, hit a nerve, and I lost a fair bit of sensation to that. And it took almost a year to fully heal, possibly a bit longer. I can't really remember. It was a long time till I had full sensation in that finger. And as luck would have it, probably a few years later, I cut myself again, very close to that location, even a deeper cut, but this time it was with glass, and it was with a very special glass that you won't find in the beer bottles or soft drink bottles or window glass. And I was in a remote situation. I didn't have any first aid, so all I had was this bit of this electrical tape, so I wrapped it around and went on with the work. And I noticed within a few days that I was beginning to get sensation back in the hand, in the location. And I noticed that the wound was healing very quickly, and I had nerve feeling back again. And it led me to thinking, hang on, there's some connection with cutting the flesh with steel or a blade, metal blade, as opposed to this special glass. And 20 years later, I believe I've come up with a special scalpel that allows us to repair the spinal cord. And this, as I said before, this is just a introduction, this video, and I don't expect to go too much detail into this. So we'll talk later on. I'll make some more videos and explain how this works. At the end of this video you'll see it close up. You might be able to see the fine hair-like wire, glass fibre. And there's a couple of techniques in this. It's not all to do with this is just not a cutting process. It involves other technologies. If this video is not like my normal videos where I'll disable the comments because this is part of my work. It's not part of my hobby, so I haven't got the time to answer comments. But if you would like to contact me, I'll leave a contact on the email, and if you're really interested, you may wish to to answer you, I'll have to charge you because I can't afford to stop my work and answer. Here we have a close-up of the fine glass fibre used to cut the spinal cord. I'll be doing some more videos to explain how the concept works, and there's no need to contact me unless it's really urgent, as the following videos will explain everything. At this stage there's been no clinical trials to try out the concept, and I estimate another 5 years of development before anything happens. Here we have another shot against a darker background, which is probably a little bit easier to see, and we have a pin as a reference for size.